Well, it's a big day in the state of New Jersey. The state legislature approved a bill setting up a legal cannabis marketplace. And the development comes a little over a month after voters in the state came out in favor of an amendment legalizing recreational marijuana use. So here to tell us more about this is Carly Wolf, State Policies Coordinator with the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Thank you so much for joining us. And by the way, this group has been advocating for marijuana decriminalization and legalization since 1970. Carly, with today's vote and the pending signing from New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, how long will it take for residents of the state to notice this change?
So actually, the next step after the legislation is signed into law by the governor, which he is for sure expected to sign, he's been super supportive. Then on January 1st, which is when the constitutional amendment officially takes effect. So on January 1st, marijuana will be legal to possess and use for all adults. But of course, we still have to see all the rules and regulations that will be governing this new industry come to fruition. And those rules and regulations will be established by the Cannabis Regulatory Commission, which is the agency that will have members appointed to it, which will be governing the new industry. So far, 2 people have been appointed, and I think that in the next few months we're going to see 1 more people being appointed to this commission. And then hopefully by this summer, we'll see some more of those rules and regulations come out of that commission. Hopefully there'll be a period where they'll take public comment. So, residents of New Jersey who voted to see this policy change will hopefully have the chance to weigh in there. But as far as when adults will legally be able to purchase marijuana, that is all kind of still up in the air. Looking at other states, if those states are any indication, it could take anywhere from 6 months to 4 years. I'm hoping New Jersey will be on the earlier side of that, especially since it looks like that the New Jersey medical marijuana dispensaries will be able to, in the first round, start immediately dispensing recreational marijuana in addition to medical marijuana to all adults.
Okay, Carly.
So because of that.
So sorry about that. Go ahead, please continue.
No, I was just going to say that, because these establishments already have their infrastructure in place and are operational for that reason, I hope it'll be sooner rather than later.
Okay, so broadening things out a little bit, today's story started with voters favoring this ballot measure back in November. But what did we learn about the nation's stance on marijuana since the 2020 election?
Yeah, I think that in addition to making progress in New Jersey and some other states this election, we've also made a lot of progress at the federal level. The Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, also known as the MORE Act, which is the most comprehensive piece of legislation at the federal level, did advance in the House of Representatives. I believe that was just last week. It was approved by the House of Representatives, sending it on to the Senate for consideration. Although it's not looking very promising in the Senate in this next year ahead. I think it's very, very notable that, the members of Congress went on record and passed this piece of legislation. So I think that really sets the stage for the coming years and months for federal reform to advance. And of course, public support is at an all-time high. Latest polling data shows almost 70% support across the nation. And that's, from people all over the political spectrum.
On that note, in the very short time we have left, when it comes to comparing federal and local laws, or state laws rather, what's maybe the first problem that you see that might result in some conflicting laws between federal and state stances?
Yeah, so I think that really stems from the scheduling of marijuana as Schedule 1 on the Controlled Substances Act, which is the most restrictive category. It puts marijuana on par with other drugs such as cocaine and heroin. So I think that's really where that federal state tension stems from. And if marijuana is ultimately descheduled, it would ease many of those tensions.
Okay, and we actually reported earlier last month about efforts to reclassify. Carly Wolf, thank you so much for joining us.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quicktake now for insight in an instant.